In this video, I'm going to teach you how to use Sefaria.org, which is a remarkable tool for Torah study. The purpose of the video is to encourage you to study Torah in your free time. You don't need the perfect situation in order to study. And if you wait for everything to be perfect, you'll find that you never actually get around to studying and learning. And we don't want this to be like a church situation where you show up once a week or once a month, and in between that time, do nothing. Or we don't want you to just show up somewhere and listen, be told everything, and then do nothing in between. You don't need everything to be perfect. You can study in your own free time whenever you can. And I encourage you to do so because it's way more interesting and useful than whatever's going on TV. So Sefaria is a tool that you can use at your own convenience. So let's begin. I'm going to go over some of the most basic features of the site, but these will help you get the most out of it. So the very first page you'll come to is sefaria.org/texts. And if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see that all the texts and these various genres of literature are all organized for you. So the first one you'll see here is tanakh. That is the Hebrew Bible, so the text of the Bible. And then you have the Talmud and various books on law. But let's begin with the Bible itself. We'll click on tanakh, and you'll see that all the 24 books of the Bible are organized for you here. So here we have the Torah, which is the 5 books of Moses. Then we have the prophets. You can scroll down, and we have the writings as well. So if you want to navigate these, all you have to do is click on any of them, and it will take you right there. So, for instance, let's click on Genesis, and it takes you right to Genesis 1:1. Now, if you want to go to anywhere like another chapter in Genesis, all you have to do is go to the top here, it says Genesis 1, and click on the arrow, and then you can navigate your way through the 50 chapters of Genesis. So, for instance, let's click on Genesis 9, and it will take you right there. Now, here's one of the most interesting things about this site, and the most useful. You can click on any verse in the entire Bible if you want to learn more about it. So let's say you're reading along and you want to learn more about a particular verse, or something is kind of confusing to you. All you have to do is click on the verse. So let's click on Genesis 9:7 here. And you'll see that a window opens to the right with all those genres we noted earlier. So here we have the commentary, and the commentary is just the writings of all the greatest Torah sages throughout time organized in one place. So anytime they've talked about Genesis 9:7, you'll find it here. Now as you go through these, you'll see many of them have this little square with EN next to it. That means that there's English available. So not everything on this site is translated into English, but much of it is. And then you'll see some of them don't have that EN. That means that's all in Hebrew, or at least that they don't have it translated yet. But many of these do have this EN, which means there's English available. So whenever you're reading the Bible and studying it, it's best to do so with the commentaries, because any questions that we can have or that naturally arise, the Torah sages and experts have already come up with these questions and oftentimes have answered them for you. And sometimes there's disagreements among them, but it's still best to take in all the information. So we clicked on Genesis 9:7. This window comes up. Now let's click on commentary. And you'll see here a list of all the greatest Torah sages like Rashi, Ibn Ezra, Ramban, and so on. And again, many of these have this EN next to them. So that means some of their commentary has been translated and it's available. So anytime these guys have talked about 9:7, Genesis 9:7, it's here. So now let's click on Rashi. And here we have his commentary available for us. Now if you want to make this window bigger and go to the actual text where Rashi's writings, just go to the bottom of the commentary and click this open button. You'll see this option open. Click on it and it makes it bigger, and then you can actually scroll through the text itself. So I'm going to close this now. So again, click on any verse. This window will come up. Now we can even search through the Talmud. So anytime this verse has come up in the Talmud, and again, actually the entire Talmud is available on Sefaria in English. The entire thing has been translated. So you can either click on these individually, or you can actually click on just Talmud, and all 5 of them will come up. And you can then scroll through. If you want to go back anytime, all you have to do is hit this back button. Or if you want to close it, you can hit the X. But let's go back. And we're right back to the beginning here. I'm going to close this down and show you one other function of this website. So anytime you want to learn what Hebrew words mean or which words are which, you can simply click on any verse. Like let's click on 9:8 here. Then highlight whatever word you want to know about. So this is one of Hashem's names. I'm going to highlight it, or one of God's names, one of the names of God. You can highlight the word, and you'll see that it comes up in the dictionary. So any word that you highlight, if it's found in the dictionary, the Hebrew dictionary, it will give you the meaning of that word. You can do this, and here's Noah's name. Let's highlight that, and we have Noah. So you can do this for virtually any word in the entire Bible. So I'll try it out here now. And again, same type of thing. So I'll close this down. Now let's use the search function. So let's choose a name, Noah, for instance. You can search for any name, any word, any phrase, and use the search function. It will find it anytime it exists on this entire site. So not just in the Bible, but in any of the genres. And here, if you don't want to type it in English and you want to search the actual Hebrew, come over here, click on this little keyboard, and you can type it in Hebrew. Then hit enter, and the search results will come up. But for our purposes here, we're going to type in Noah, and in this case, it will bring you to the portion known as Noah. However, if we type this again, you can also search manually and set it to search for Noah. So if we want to find every time the word or the name Noah shows up in the entire site, we can do it that way as well. So let's do that. And you'll notice for this spelling of Noah, at least, there are over 1,000 entries on the entire site. Now you have the option of going through and reading all of these. Now these are all the ones that every time it shows up in the entire Bible, and you can literally scroll through all 1,300 of them, or you can filter them. So if we come over to the filter option. So you have the text here, and it says in the brackets how many times it shows up. Go to filter now. Click the down arrow, and it will show you how many times it shows up in the Hebrew Bible here, and then how many times it shows up in the various genres. So this many times in the Talmud, this many times in midrash, in Kabbalistic literature, and so on. Then if you let's say you're looking for a phrase, you can go over to options and search for that exact phrase if you click on it here. Let's go back to titles though. So let's say you just want to search for Noah in the Bible, and you don't want to include all these other genres. All you have to do is click on tanakh, and it will then switch it over to only list the times it shows up in the tanakh itself, in the Bible. So then you click off of there, and you'll see every instance of Noah in the Bible is listed. But you'll notice as I scroll through here, they're not in chronological order. They're not in order at all. So we have Genesis 9:18, and below it 8:20, and so on. Book of Numbers is in the middle there. So if you want to put these in chronological order, so we have text, go over to filter, and then to the right of that, you'll see sort. Click on that, click chronological, and it then organizes them in chronological order. So now we see the very first instance of the name Noah is in Genesis 4:22, and then it lists every single instance of it in chronological order. Now let's go back, and if you ever want to go back to the very beginning, the very first page on this site, just go to these three bars here and click on that, and it will bring you right back to the texts page that we started with. So I'm going to click on tanakh just to show you one more thing, and then we'll be finished. I'm going to click on Genesis again. It's going to take me to Genesis 6 here. And you'll see how I have the Hebrew and then the English right under it. You can change that. So let's say you just want the English or you just want the Hebrew. At the top again, you'll see beside this little star, an A and an Aleph. Click on that, and you'll see it says language. You can change it to just English or just Hebrew. So I'll click this A, and you see now it's just in English. I'm going to click this Aleph, and now it's just in Hebrew. So if I go back to it, I'm going to change it back to the original Aleph, or A and Aleph, and it has both now. So I think that should be enough to get you started. If you have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to reach out. I'll happily go through anything, any questions that you have. And in the meantime, happy studying.